So now we've had an incredible lineup already. Now it's time to really hear about those who have to deal with this every day. And it's I think we've been setting you up well. It's a big area, right? Both when it comes to the root causes, the type of collaborations, the risks on environmental and the human rights side, the supply chain issues. And kind of developing regulations every day, right? Timo, you lead, well, you can introduce yourself a little bit, but leading obviously also these efforts from a big forest industry company in Finland, or multinational, but share with us in the group, please, like how you approach this, what some of the lessons have been for you, and what maybe your experience can help others as they move along. So over to you.
Thank you so much, and good afternoon and good morning, everyone. Thank you for this great opportunity to demonstrate the company example in this interesting session. So I'm working as leading nature expert at Metsä Group. I'm biologist, so biologist working for bioeconomy, which is not very common background, but that's how I have my career has been in forest industry internationally. And on the next slide, please. So this is our logo, and I'm demonstrating this our regenerative forestry strategy we launched for 2 years ago, how we have met these global trends and environmental challenges in our strategy as voluntary-based work. In our team, there are several people working with EU regulation, and their position is in Brussels and giving more space for me and my colleagues who are more than developing company-specific roadmap. And on the next slide, we can see our company. We have wide, diverse wood-based product portfolio. We are cooperative. We are owned by 91,000 private forest owners in Finland. The wood is mainly coming from those private forest land in Finland, 5.5 million hectares altogether. That's the main wood procurement area for us. And at Metsä Group, we are roughly 9,000 employees and 30 mills in 7 different countries, mostly in Finland. And on the next slide, we see this our biodiversity portfolio, where we have 2 strategical roadmaps: regenerative forestry, where we are targeting nature positive objectives by 2030, and then cultural change in urban and industrial areas in regenerative land use program and strategy. Then in addition to those, we have additional biodiversity initiatives. This funding program for nature project is additional, where we fund stakeholder engagement projects which are not focusing on our own impact. And then we have established a Forest Conservation Foundation to participate forest conservation network development, in addition to our main business to take care of biodiversity and ecosystem services in commercial forest landscape. And next slide. This is interesting detail in deforestation-free regulation history. From the year 1886, we have had this deforestation prohibition in our national legislation, and it was the first law in the world to include this kind of legal obligation to this topic. This is some kind of starting point and very important history when looking for PFC, chain of custodies, FSC, supply chain certificates, and then EUDR to take care of the most important thing, to not to have deforestation in forestry operations or for other reasons. And the next slide, how to use the land, how to organize industrial scale raw material production. This has been the question we have asked ourselves and our stakeholders, customers, and other stakeholders. Our forest management is based on native tree species, which is the basis to maintain and enhance biodiversity in commercial forest landscape. Most of the species are still living and breeding in commercial forest landscape compared to original virgin forest, thanks to native tree species. And now we have target to increase proportion of those species which are adapted to live in commercial forest landscape by targeting more diverse tree species composition and to increase deadwood volumes, where deadwood is the most significant difference when we compare commercial forest landscape and natural forests. And the next slide, we have these 3 targets set by company decision to achieve verified net positive impact in commercial forest landscape in Finland, to get more holistic, to develop more holistic ecosystem service approach and strategy, and then to target impact data, which will be transferred to value chains and finally to wood-based products. Then we are talking about biodiversity and ecosystem service handprints finally. And the next slide. This is a picture how we define and see biodiversity. From the bottom, biodiversity, it has been recognized as a basis for the whole economy and bioeconomy, and then we have targets, actions, monitoring systems, and impact monitoring with that topic. And this biodiversity or natural capital is linked to national level resilience and security of supply and gene preserve. To make this nature conservation and forest biodiversity a very pragmatic question and issue. And instead of part optimizing ecosystem services just to wood production or carbon sinks, we are looking for a more holistic view on ecosystem services. There is more than wood production in our forest and more than carbon sink in our forest. And bioeconomy is business based on ecosystem services, and we are looking for that kind of overall holistic view for these benefits, where the target is to recognize, in addition to wood production and carbon sink, those ecosystem services benefits from nature, which are significant and critical locally, regionally, or nationally. One, water quality and quantity to pollination services and different kind of health impacts and cultural recreational values. And finally, we are targeting to produce those kind of wood-based products you have all used several times this day. Those products which are really needed in our everyday life. And the next slide, please, we can see these principles we have, which are principles to guide our development and management from native tree species policy to target to get more diverse tree species composition, to get those critical elements and resources more to commercial land, which are typical in native or virgin forests. What is behind is gap analysis and comparison, where we have compared commercial forest landscape and natural forest, and then we are targeting to get more diverse commercial forest landscape. And the next slide. As an example, we have this tree species principles where only 5 native tree species are used commercially: pine, spruce, 2 birch species, and aspen, which are natural species for Finland and wood production area. And then we leave most of the tree species are left and protected, and there are thousands of species which are dependent on these rare broadleaf tree species. And you can see here some examples of those species which can get benefit from this kind of tree species rule. And the next slide, you can see our Metsä Group Plus service, which is one concrete forest service we offer to our cooperative members, where we leave 40 retention trees per hectare, more than PFC or FSC is demanding. So more than law, more than forest certification schemes to get to have this, to implement the change from monocultures to more tree species composition, more diverse tree species composition, more dead wood, to get species level to the next level. And the next slide, please. This is very much a win-win-win solution where we have encouraged, we have more and more science and research where we can demonstrate these nature-based solutions to see this as climate change adaptation and mitigation and food production securing at the same time. 1.5 Celsius globally, which would mean in Finland and Scandinavia 5.1. So we have the longest forest rotation periods in the world. So we have to do something with climate change adaptation to safeguard forest health. And these nature-based solutions seems to be one very good way to minimize all those risks which we meet when we are looking for climate risk at national level. Of course, it's important to participate in climate change mitigation actions as much as we can, but nationally, it's very critical to develop more this climate change adaptation actions and strategies to safeguard our natural forest ecosystem and capital. And the next slide. We have set target to strengthen the state of nature. We need impact data, and these are examples of our national biodiversity and forest resource inventories, where we are following, for example, wood volumes per each tree species, number of retention trees, and those kind of examples, as an example. And the next slide, still one example of species-specific data. We have the data from all forest plant species in Finland, thanks to national inventories. And this is something we are looking for. In addition to this forest management, how to do, what are the forest management methods to have this impact data and monitored, measured data to put on the table. And the next, I start to finalize. Yes, this is my last one. I'm in time. Diversified forests are the best gift to the next generation. And whatever are your targets with your forest as forest owner, the biodiversity and strengthening the state of nature is a good target and objective, whatever is your personal relationship to nature. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Timo, and for reminding us why we're also doing all of this, and that all the different aspects that goes into it. I think also even just looking and reflecting on your presentation, right? The long time horizon that all of this has, and a strong connection to everything around you, right? So I think